Hello, welcome back to the third edition of me rebooking arguably the worst era of WWE. By the time I'm recording this, I haven't even posted the second one, so I don't even know why I'm doing the third. But fuck it. Let's get on with it. So, kicking off for tonight, Batista hits the ring proudly holding aloft his title belt after retaining, I think, at No Way Out. To celebrate an important landmark in his championship reign, Cena believes that he wasn't given his due in his match, inside the chamber, and thinks that they should settle it at Mania. Stephanie comes out and announces the two will meet later in a non-title match. If Cena wins, he'll face Batista at Mania. 86%. 70% JBL limo entrance. Kofi versus JBL, 66%. Then Kofi gets attacked by Ziggler after the match. Um, 6%. CM Punk then says that things between him and Kane, getting ahead of myself, are not finished. He can feel it and he knows it. What does this mean for the straight edge superstar? Who knows? Short little match. Kane versus Ted Jr. Kane gets the victory, of course, because why would I ever put this bum over the big red machine? Randy Orton attacks Mysterio before the bell rings in his match against Cody, giving Cody the advantage, to which Cody, uses said advantage to get the win over Mysterio. But Orton then hits Mysterio with a massive punt kick to the head. Santino and Goldust parody a film making fun of Morrison and Miz. Moving into Miz and Morrison versus Crime Time, which the Miz gets the victory. However, as they try to attack Crime Time after the match, Santino and Goldust chase him out of the arena. Moving to our main event, Batista and Cena put up a big 85% 1-star match in the main event. What do you think I mentioned? Main event. Cena goes for the handshake and Batista refuses it. But that doesn't matter. Cena is seeing Batista at Mania, whether he likes it or not. I know I'm very early into the Mania build, but who cares? Give him, time to, 80% gains popularity. Very nice. Dragon Gates getting Rene Dupree, Scorpio Sky, Colin Delaney. Okay. Kenta defeats Go Shiozaki. Kenta Kobashi defeats Ricky Marvin. Kevin Steen and El Generico defeat the All Night Express. Eddie Edwards defeats Elias Young. And Mike Bennett defeats Adam Pearce. Alright. I'll see you for ECW. For this week's episode of ECW, we're going to be utilizing our FCW talent just a bit more than we normally do. Evan Bourne gets his win over Tyson Kidd, or TJ Wilson, rather. Swagger talks about being better than Mark Henry before, inevitably, like he should, get squashed by Mark Henry. So, fuck Jack Swagger. Finley defeats Ricky Ortiz. The GM Teddy Long and co-GM Tiffany discuss Sheamus' next challenger and announce that tonight's main event will be Vance Archer versus Christian. 62% Christian gets the win, and Sheamus blasts Christian with the bro kick afterwards. And it loses us our popularity because ECW sucks. And now it's time for SmackDown's booking, so I'll see you then. To kick off this week's episode of SmackDown, Triple H is being interviewed about Jeff Hardy, promises to come out on top. For our first match, we have Ryder and Hawkins versus Jesse and Festus. Hawkins wins 35%. But Chavo and Big Show, the tag champs, come in and beat down Kurt and Ryder. Drew and Shelton have issues with each other, cutting a promo on one another, having war words, before Vicky comes in and tells them to settle in a non-title match tonight. Great Khali defeats Ryan Braddock in a 3-minute squash. And Umaga comes in and beats him with the chair over and over, despite being heavily bandaged, but Umaga doesn't care. A crazy hype video for Kendrick and Jackson, to which they end up actually beating Kizarny and MVP. The crowd didn't care, but I certainly do. It's Kizarny. Let's go. Then we have McIntyre versus Benjamin. And they brawl after the match. McIntyre gets the win with the flash pinfall too. He rolls him up. And then we have Triple H versus Umaga in the main event. Just, to give him something to do for their storyline. That is Jeff Hardy and Triple H. Jeff Hardy challenges Triple H to a steel cage match. Shut him up. And Triple H agrees. That'll be next week. Not a good show. Which is a little upsetting, but it's fine. Sting Big Shark Boy. Alright, great. Local indie. Huh. Mikey Nichols versus Dash Chisako. That's kind of fun. That is fun. Alright. 5 days until Raw. I'll see you then. Oh, big news. Alpha Anoa'i leaves WWE. Not my problem. A video shows recapping recapping Mysterio and Orton. 96%, very nice. Which leads to a little match between Orton and Shawn, which Orton actually hits the punt kick, which leads to Stephanie McMahon firing Randy Orton. So that's pretty huge. Moving on, Ziggler is interviewed about Kofi in his match tonight. Doesn't give any comments though. Rhodes and Regal bump into each other backstage and just stare each other down. They don't come to blows just yet. Then Punk versus Jericho. Punk wins, hits the GTS. However, Kane comes in and lights the ring on fire with his magical demon powers. Punk looks worried, but overcomes it as he dives over the flames onto Kane. The two brawl outside the ring until refs break them up. Santino and Goldust versus JBL Noble. Goldust wins. And Miz and Morrison get their retaliation against Santino and Goldust. For our technical main event, we get Kofi versus Ziggler. Kofi wins by countout. Kofi's like, hey, I don't want it to end here. I challenge you to a DQ match, no DQ match next week. And Ziggler accepts. And as Cena makes his way to the ring, Batista attacks him from behind. And the show closes. Will Cena be here next week? Who knows? 0.3%, 78. Very nice. However, that will be the final show for today's episode. So, not much happened in the way of progress, but that is that. But thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time when I do episode 4 or something else. I don't know. Goodbye.